Now that we have the spine animated, we can move on to the arms. But before we do that, let's go ahead and just play what we have. You can see we've got a pretty good spring to her step. Her body and her spine are getting into the action. So I'm going to go ahead and scrub back to frame 1. And let's go ahead and reveal her arms so that we can start to animate them. Now, this first pose is already in place. And again, this is just an extended position from a walk. So the first one that we really need to animate is this cushion position where she's starting to compress her body. And so this is really an anticipation sort of position. So in this position, she's basically compressing her body. So I'm going to go ahead and just work mostly with the elbows here, but I want to try and get her body and her arms a little bit more compressed. So I'm going to go ahead and set a key for those left arms. And let's go over to the right side. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and compress this just a bit. So again, she's kind of coiling her body, kind of getting ready to push off here. So now, got her squashing, and now she's going to take her leap. Now when she takes her leap, the arms are actually going to drag behind the body. So the top of her leap is right around frame 11 here. But I want to actually animate the arms a few frames back from that to get a little bit of drag into them. So I'm going to go about 2 frames back. And these arms are pretty much going to swing like they would swing in a walk. So this arm here will be back and the other arm will be forward. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate this arm back and actually a little bit out. So what I'm trying to do here is she's actually going to put her arms out a little bit, and that's partially to help maintain her balance. When you have the arms out like that during a jump, it helps to keep the body stable. So something about like that. And let's go ahead and make sure we have a key for that. So now let's just go ahead and take a look at this left arm here. So she goes in, and then her arm kind of goes out. In fact, you could probably do a little bit more with that. I'm going to actually push it back a little bit further. Straighten out that elbow just a little bit more. And again, we want to make sure it's out from the body. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. There we go. Perfect. And the right arm is going to be the opposite. Now remember, the final position is going to be here. So this arm will be forward. Okay, so it's again just like a walk. So this arm is moving forward. So here in the middle of this, I'm going to go ahead and push this pretty far forward. And again, from the front, I'm going to bring it out. And this is really to give balance to the body. And maybe straighten out that elbow just a bit. Something like this, maybe a little bit less. And let's go ahead and make sure we have a key for that. So now you can see that arm is swinging forward with the body. In fact, I can probably push that forward just a little bit more. So we've got 3 major keys here. We've got the extended position key, the compression or the cushion position key, and then a key that's actually dragging a little bit behind the hop. And now we can go in for the last key. So let's go ahead and go to frame 21 here, and let's just go ahead and settle these in to an extended position sort of pose here. So we're going to go ahead and just dial in this left arm. There we go. Okay, and let's do the same for the right. And again, we're going to bring this arm into the body. And I'm going to rotate it back just a little bit so that we've got a nice extended position there. So something like that. So now, there we go. And again, I'm looking at the arcs of the hand. One of the things I like to pay attention to is the wrist. So I want to make sure that that wrist follows a nice arc. no matter what else happens with the arm, you're going to be focusing on that endpoint. So if the wrist follows a pretty nice gradual arc, you should be okay. So that's just one half of the skip. Let's go ahead and play this through and just see how that looks. So that first half looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and just do the opposite for the second side, and I'll leave that up to you. And I'm going to go ahead and do that myself, and then we'll come back and finish up the skip.